Hello, Jody here from Healing Journey. This evening, I'm going to be talking a little bit more about the connection that you may find between your anxiety and your nervous system, how they're connected, and why people don't necessarily talk about it. This is something that I discuss in more detail in my Holistic Anxiety Fix, which is my 12-week online program, which holistically addresses anxiety. So we're looking at anxiety from both a mind and a body. So it's built in 3 phases. And so this program really takes a unique look at addressing anxiety. So what I'm talking about this evening is going to be giving you a bit of a sneak peek into that program, specifically around when we're talking about the nervous system, why it's important to consider with anxiety, and why if you have an anxious or overwhelmed nervous system and you don't properly know how to heal it, it is going to be an issue for you. So, I get what it's like to be chronically anxious. I had this period in my life where I was always a bit anxious, but then it's like a switch was flipped. And I was anxious all the time and I couldn't calm down. And so I would do things like meditation, and I would try things like talk therapy or Epsom salt baths, and I would calm momentarily, but then I actually couldn't stay calm. And so, I'd be calm during the yoga and I'd leave Zen for a little bit of time, and then that would fade, and all of a sudden I could feel my system wiring up again. And so this was really challenging for me to start to figure out what was going on underneath this. And I obviously didn't want to be doing yoga all of the time in order to stay calm. So if you're somebody who, feels like your nervous system is a little on edge and you just can't seem to settle down, or maybe some of the strategies I talk about, they work for you, but they don't stay working, then you're going to want to tune in and learn more about why the nervous system, and particularly the limbic system, is a challenge and can be a challenge for you. So, as a therapist, I work with mind frame a lot, but what I'm about to talk about today is a little bit different. And what it actually focuses on is the limbic system. And so whether, you've had trauma in your life or whether you've had an infection in your life, this can actually trigger the limbic system to become overactive. And so, calming it down through using meditation and through, things like deep breathing, what that's doing is it's kind of calming down the nervous system from the opposite direction. So it's calming it down, but it's still firing from your brain to turn on, to kind of end you up in that panic. And so what a lot of people don't realize is that sometimes you need to start with the brain, and you actually need to calm things down from a brain perspective, because if your limbic system is wired, this is the old part of your brain. And so basically its full job is to protect you. And so what's actually happened during a lot of COVID is that this limbic system has been completely activated. And one of the ways that it's activated is by watching the news, because let's be honest, the news is stressful. It's creating this situation. It's painting this picture of lots of big threats, lots of scary situations, whether, you're somebody who's worried about COVID, or you're worried about the protests regarding COVID, or you're worried about the people wearing masks or the people not wearing masks. Whatever perspective you're taking, you can probably tell when you're watching the news that there is a heightened level of response in your body, that there is this anxiety. I know for me, I actually haven't watched the news during all of COVID, because I know my body responds to this because my limbic system is still very sensitive. And so what it's doing when you're getting this fear created is it's turning on your limbic system, and then your limbic brain is going, hey, we need to protect her. We need to do these things that make sure she's safe, and it turns on your nervous system, and then you become anxious. So one of the things to do to calm your limbic system down is to avoid watching the news and to avoid things that are going to be stressing you out. The other main thing that you can do to address limbic system damage is to train your brain to think positively. So having these positive moments and positive experiences can also be a really great way of getting yourself out of this loop. Because what happens when the limbic system becomes overactivated is it starts to loop. And I mean, it's very easy right now for this limbic system to be overactivated with COVID because we're constantly getting messages that things are unsafe. COVID is here and it's here and we can't go here and we need to worry here. So all of a sudden our nervous system is completely activated and our limbic system is going, how do we protect her? And when that limbic system is going, how do we protect her? When it's super active, our bodies cannot be in a calm state. They don't exist together, right? You can't have that limbic system turned on and then be calm because the two don't go hand in hand. So let me know if you watch the news, how you find it. If the news is something that's very stressful for you, if you notice that you're more stressed out after, if you notice that you start worrying after, because this is something to really think about and it's something that you can actually control. And so it can be an easy way to slowly reduce anxiety, just like cutting out caffeine can be, is taking, out the news from your life just for a couple of days and notice the difference. See if you've started to calm down because you're not going to be chronically activating that nervous system and chronically activating your stress response. So let me know if you're up for the challenge. Message me below if you're going to take a break and notice, or even just notice how you are when you watch the news.